Bravo SmackDown. The anonymous now little promo Kevin Owens made, that was the pipe bomb of the year. The second coming to the pipe bomb CM Punk brung when he exposed the business. Thought Vince McMahon ate shit. Yet he hasn't been a lethal corporate entity of the company for a storyline since like the death of the last year of Ruthless Aggression era. That was 2007. And now it's 2019. Shane McMahon been the primary heel of this year, mainly feuding with the likes of The Miz and Roman Reigns, and now Kevin Owens has turned strictly babyface, and it seems like he's going to be a lethal part of the tag team involving The Undertaker and Roman Reigns facing off against McIntyre and Shane in the Extreme Rules tag team match come pay-per-view. And let me tell you one thing. I don't give a fuck. First of all, you really think that Kevin Owens would go that into the company over complaining about most of the guys being out, going to stupid live events, wasting most of their time on tour, and obviously trying to bring their business out globally, and them lacking any charisma or any other characteristic that makes them deserve the screen time they're getting other than Shane McMahon? And Kevin Owens going into the business, it was a good promo. It is supposed to mask Shane McMahon as being a major heel. He's not getting forced down his throat. Storyline he is. He's the top guy. Literally has the name rights to literally do whatever he wants, and associate with most of the heels in his band to make sure he beats the shit out of any guy he needs to. He's a decent heel as much as he's annoying to watch, primarily on primary storyline wise or TV time wise. And independent talents that should be getting more screen time are getting that, but not like the instant consuming charisma as Elias Sampson, or the tremendous ferocity, great look, and good wrestling and total aggression out of Drew McIntyre. I feel like they are getting underutilized, but they're used as muscle for Shane McMahon. Obviously, so even though Shane McMahon can hold his own, he can't beat dudes like Roman Reigns or The Undertaker one-on-one. And it's supposed to make him be the best of what anybody else is thinking on his work shoot promo is literally being a fucking godsend on why are these guys working for this company if they're talking so much shit about it. That would make no fucking sense. But I can understand the reasons why some wrestlers don't want to work there. Obviously, I don't want to waste my life. My fucking life. I want to do other stuff other than wrestle 24/7. These guys go to live events, go to tours, stick their entire life being barely even relying on kayfabe or most of the crap that made wrestling fun for even the wrestlers because they had to stay in character. And that means they have very little time leaving people alone. You really think some kid really wants to run up to Undertaker back in the day when kayfabe was lit and get a pen and paper? Can you sign this? He does the white eyes and shit and scares a kid. That's kayfabe. And not anybody like Kevin Owens that came from snapping Kofi Kingston's neck last week on SmackDown comes around getting several autographs by like some man children and their own man children. The segment was cool. Kevin Owens getting attacked from the backstage was alright. The promo was cool involving Kevin Owens feeling this shit was unfair. Interesting enough promo. I didn't mind it. But can we please, with these little smart marks, to calm the fuck down? Kevin Owens obviously isn't CM Punk. If he did, he could have had complaints about this years ago. He's been working here since like 2015, and he went to the roster 2015. Then we had our opening matchup with Shinsuke and Nakamura, because I missed the show early, so that was I had to rewatch a bit of the segment. And it was good, and it proved to me that these are good wrestlers. These guys have chemistry from New Japan, so why not they put up a good fight? It was alright. Nakamura with the kicks. He did a good under the rim apron. He does this before, but it's so cool and slick, and it feels so fluid. When he hits it for a German suplex, that was nice. He hits enziguris. He's being more ferocious. He's finally done fucking around with Rusev after that really terrible waste of a storyline with Rusev, like earliest part of the year when he's feuding with him for the U.S. title. And now he just pinned the Intercontinental Champion. So maybe right after Extreme Rules, they might be fighting for the U.S. title come SummerSlam. It's literally a month away. So, yeah. This is... Oh, wow. Shit. This Sunday is Extreme Rules. You can see the very little build WWE relies on now. 2 weeks ago, we had Stomping Grounds. You know how exciting I was for like the early part of it being decent, but with no concept or no other storylines involved with it other than Seth Rollins has the curb stomp, and we have Stomping Grounds. We're kicking down. Shut the fuck up. The pay-per-view was trash, and you know it. There was no memorabilia of the entire pay-per-view at all, other than before the pay-per-view even started. Ricochet was leaked of figuring his own butthole, and nobody wants to remember that shit. So Nakamura won. Kinshasa right to the fucking face. It was really aggressive. Decent opening match. Then we had a contract signing involving Nikki Cross and Bayley, because somehow it seems like Nikki Cross is the hype man, even though Alexa Bliss was the person to get the shot after Nikki Cross pinned Bayley, and then they just made it a handicap match by contract signing. Because there was a beat the clock challenge on Monday, and I don't give a fuck. Because Nikki Cross is too annoying to be on TV, and she has no character. Other than she wants to affiliate herself with somebody she can manipulate. And she even said she knows Alexa Bliss, so you should obviously see it coming what's going to happen. So, I don't know. I don't care about the segment because Bayley doesn't deserve to be women's champion since she came in the main roster. She's obviously doing this because being in a storyline is whatever with her. She's just going to feud. But Nikki Cross is taking most of the abuse and just winning more of the matches than Alexa Bliss. And no disrespect, I like me Alexa Bliss, but her promos are a bit better. And if you wanted Nikki Cross to be a hype man or something like that, you got to be way better than to just be like, oh, we know we're manipulating you. So, yeah, give me a second, because fucking assholes want to play their loud ass music. So, yeah, I did not like the contract signing. They keep doing these contract signing like it's only been 2 weeks. Imagine doing a contract signing or at least a press conference with Mayweather and Pacquiao from the last minute and no one ever heard that they were even having a pay-per-view match. After Pacquiao just had a fight a month ago. What the fuck? Not only is it preparations not to go to be excited for a fight, it's too exhausting. Nobody wants to do a pay-per-view and then 2 weeks later we got a pay-per-view. Like, after Extreme Rules, July is going to be like the middle of July and no one's going to build up for that. It's like 3 weeks for total build-up and we don't even have a major storyline other than Shane McMahon feuding with everybody he punches. They terribly punches. And that's coming out of my opinion. I think Shane McMahon has the worst punches in the business. Oh, fuck me. Then we had Nikki Cross face off against Carmella. She told that she's facing Carmella right after the contract signing. And it was meh. Carmella poorly selling. She's a former women's champion. She gets squashed. SmackDown women's champion. A person, I think she cashed in on Alexa Bliss. And then won. Or Asuka, I think. Whatever, she won the women's title. And fucked off. Then just a few irrelevant times with the women's championship. Really got an interesting feud with it because we have women now in our roster. We have to make sure everybody gets a shot. It gets a women's belt. Naomi gets a women's belt. Barely shows her ass on television. I think Natalya for a while was women's champion. Barely did anything with it. I swear, Amber Moon will be given the Women's Championship and do nothing with it, because they have nothing to build a character on other than things that kept them relevant on fucking NXT. Nikki Cross is that crazy bitch from Sanity, and now she's just a crazy bitch now. NXT gimmicks off the wazoo, and no one cares. Carmella's the same bitch she was on NXT. Nikki Cross is an independent crazy bitch now. Killian Dane is now on NXT after their failure to beat Sanity on the main roster thanks to getting squashed. Now Eric Young's just chasing the 24/7 Jobber Championship for no fucking reason. He doesn't even have unique ways to try to win it. He just runs and chases R-Truth. Or Drake Maverick now. Thanks, he's still 24/7 champion. I never heard anything else about this. These two shows and Extreme Rules are going to be worse than Slammiversary. Slammiversary was more enjoyable than watching SmackDown and Raw combined. It was more exciting, more enticing, physical violence, decent storylines I can get behind, and a main event that made me want to watch maybe Impact again. Things have been since like fucking 2014, 2013 since I watched a full episode of Impact. I only hear of it once in a while because they have their YouTube channel still. It somehow has 2 million subscribers, yet people barely watch Impact. Fuck. And now, I have to go off Nikki Cross just squashing Carmella, the former women's champion. You make the singles belt, and then you make the tag belts. The fuck? You made a tag team championship, but no women ever distributed themselves as being tag teams, established tag teams. None of these women's ever had momentum to be like tag team potential anyway. You had the Bellas, out. Fungadactyls, out. Sasha Banks, I don't know where the fuck she's at. These women don't build up alliances. I swear to God. Why would you make tag team championships? And then you force 2 Japanese idols to be fucking tag team and call them the fucking Kabuki Warriors? Are you guys on fucking speed? And then they just feuded with the Iconics after getting a random pin several weeks ago. It wasn't 2 weeks. It wasn't a week. It's several weeks, like 3 or 4. They weren't even shown on Super Showdown. They weren't even on... At least they weren't allowed to go to Super Showdown. Because Jeddah's full of fucking misogynists. So are many other fucking Muslims. Fucking stomping grounds. No one gives a fuck about the belt. The Cruiserweight Championship is the king of kickoff. But they don't want to establish a tag team challenge because the Iconics are so fucking irrelevant. They may be going to make them lose them like a week before SummerSlam. Or several weeks before SummerSlam. Or somewhere in the kickoff. Thanks, kickoff is where we really don't give a fuck about the wrestlers, but they're going to sort of show up on the full show. It's going to be called Kickoff. Uh-huh. Yeah. Then we had a summit featuring all 3 of the contenders for the tag team titles. Heavy Machinery that won a tag team match to be in a triple threat tag team match with the New Day and Daniel Bryan and Rowan after pinning Dolph Ziggler and Kevin Owens the last week on SmackDown, if you didn't watch it. Thank God you didn't. And then they had a summit, and it contributed to just a triple threat match. It was alright, but we know it was just going to come to blows with these assholes beating the shit out of each other. In a decent triple threat match. Pretty fun. Just seeing guys, I think they broke the pancake table. Then the worm happened. I think I got broken down by Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was really the MVP of the match. Yes, Luck came. That barely gets a tap out. Then Otis gets the worm on Daniel Bryan and wins the match. It was good. It was alright, I guess, but they had a triple threat match with no reason. Thanks, all 3 of these guys were going to have a match for the championship. They just did it to give these guys some wrestling time. Some fucking reason. I think a warm up. I didn't care. thinks, like, we already have the most relevant tag team. Like, people forget that the fucking Ascension still have contracts, yet they haven't been on full TV or, like, had screen time since before WrestleMania. It is now fucking July. It's the middle of July. Come on. Really? I'm disappointed. I'm more disappointed than you are. Bet. Come on, man. Beast team barely showed up in several weeks. What are the guys? Didn't they show the Street Profits several times on Raw? Yet they're still tag team champions after winning at the previous takeover. And they know they're that desperate for tag teams. They even made it earlier in the year, thinks everybody was fucking injured or everybody was fucking irrelevant. They made Aleister Black and Ricochet a tag team and made them major threats and gave them shot after shot after shot, even though these guys were only tag teams because of the Dusty Road Classic. It's their annual tag team tournament they have. And whoever wins, they get a tag team championship opportunity come TakeOver. So they had 2 tag team championship matches come that WrestleMania weekend. They lost twice. Then Ricochet has a way better career so far than Aleister Black. Even though Aleister Black always revealed, I'm going to spoil it off the show right now, because I don't give a fuck. Cesaro was a surprise person who was knocking on the door that was wide open. You are a fucking idiot. They're just doing this for work rate reasons. Thinks Aleister Black can do super kicks, and Cesaro is hyper athletic and has maybe the best hustle I've seen out of a lot of wrestlers. Like, he can keep up with anybody and make a good match out of it. I swear to God. Watch Cesaro and Ricochet a few times. Watch Rey Mysterio versus Cesaro. Watch any Cesaro match, and you know that guy's a godsend to anybody he gets in the ring with. That guy's impressive, and I think he's going to have a clinic with Aleister Black. But somehow in Extreme Rules, since this was barely built up, Aleister Black was never attacked from behind, never had that secrecy or the mythos of why the fuck he's locked in that room. He didn't even have squash matches, so that totally didn't measure up the reason why this was a pay-per-view match, all because this was Aleister Black's first singles match since, like, the tag team was broke up after the fucking Supercard shakeup. A brand split shakeup or something. I don't give a fuck. Superstar shakeup. That's it. I didn't care. It's gonna be a good match. Don't get me wrong. I see an Aleister Black wrestle Tommy End actually, and Aleister Black, but still, I don't give a fuck. Then the main event was Dolph Ziggler that was issued a match against Roman Reigns. And Reigns won. Because Shane came and got involved. Then Kevin Owens got a cheap shot on Shane McMahon. Spear. Stop cocking your fist like this, Roman. And he's going to get in a tag team match. It's like, I find it cool that we get Roman Reigns, like, the current big guy of the time so far, so I can understand. But it's like, how can you not build up a cool thing? It's like, my biggest embarrassment is not only losing the streak, losing it twice. And having his redemption maybe at Extreme Rules to face Roman Reigns. I think that could be a moneymaker. But no, what I want to see, and they can just shave off a bit of Undertaker's age, a bit, thanks he doesn't have to be that wrestly, with just making him use more weapons and making Roman take a bit of bumps, so we can build up Undertaker still being a major dangerous threat, even though he's like in his mid-50s and he's nearly gonna kill himself if he takes even a fucking Samoan drop and gets fucking heart attack. I'm not gonna blame the Undertaker, because Father Time hasn't done well, and for his pursuit to still try to wrestle, or the company still trying to wrestle him, I beg him to stop. He's already done way too much for the company, done way too much for the wrestling business, to continue still trying to make these matches happen. I appreciate The Undertaker, and I respect him way too much to try to kill himself for the reason to put butts on the seats for a man his age. And if they wanted to do it, fine, but at least make it in a big pay-per-view or a storyline sense that people can get behind. Because obviously a major reason I don't like this, I don't want to see the company embarrass themselves again after what the fuck happened to Super Showdown. From top to bottom, we know this show was gonna suck. The main event especially, thanks we had two elderly souls that could barely even look like they can take a vertical suplex without looking like they're gonna get a cramp and get out the ring and break each other's fucking necks simultaneously on the fucking apron. I don't give a shit. This was embarrassing. This pay-per-view is going to be embarrassing, and I don't mind Extreme Rules. I liked it better when it was called One Night Stand. Fucking stupid-ass name for a pay-per-view to just name it after a literal stipulation. They do that for TLC. They do that for Fatal 4-Way. They call the pay-per-view Fatal 4-Way. They call the money a big spot fest extreme concept like Money in the Bank that was supposed to shape up and get more like of the mid-carders on the show. I get why Money in the Bank was a big thing, and it was. I like Money in the Bank WrestleMania, and it made its own pay-per-view. And it was only relevant as it did because of the stupid spots and CM Punk and John Cena. I don't give a fuck. I did not like the SmackDown. This gets a 3 out of 10. It had a decent match. It had a good promo by Kevin Owens. Kudos to Kevin Owens for being as passionate as he always is. He always gives 101% on his promos and the ring. And maybe going to tease the next feud with Shane McMahon. Thinks he's literally been the MVP of this year. Finn Balor and Nakamura just made a sudden return to the ring after like several weeks for Finn Balor. And I haven't seen Nakamura since like maybe WrestleMania. Same thing with Nia Jax. I haven't seen her since WrestleMania since I now heard she has a double ACL injury. So hopefully she returns better, even though I don't like her that much. I don't wish upon anybody to have a career-ending injury because everybody deserves to be in the WWE or at least do something better with it, even though I don't fucking like these people at all. This gets a 3 out of 10. I did not like the SmackDown. This was a terrible go-home show. I wish they just moved Extreme Rules to, like, late July. What the fuck are you guys in a rush for? What's good with y'all? What are you trying to build for? You want to go back to fucking Nassau Coliseum and make Evolution 2? Huh? Y'all faggots want to take over event at Nassau Coliseum or some shit? And embarrass yourselves even more? When nobody gave a fuck? My stream had more people on that stream viewing that than the entire attendance of Evolution. The kickoff has less people than the people viewing my stream. I swear to you this. The show was poor. I didn't like it. From beginning to end. Except maybe Aleister Black trying to, come himself after what the fuck happened when Cesaro was the person knocking. Thanks for watching, I guess.